XRP is gearing up for something massive. Franklin Templeton and Grayscale Spot XRP ETFs hit the market today. Can you believe it? Time to bring you up to speed on what's unfolding right now. You're definitely going to find this useful. We're talking about where XRP could be heading next and practical strategies for generating yield from your XRP holdings. So look at this. We literally pieced this together just a handful of days ago. The market closed on Friday with XRP price around $1.90. Here's the scenario we mapped out. Money open at $2.10. Where are we sitting now? XRP is trading above $2.20. Plus, we had some forecasts about what launch day would bring. 15 million XRP projection tomorrow. The bullish estimate? A whopping 50 million XRP moving through all 4 ETFs this Monday. And this is the moment we've been waiting for. T-minus 10 minutes. Clear to launch. It's happening! Okay, there's your ticker. Watch it unfold live right on the screen. Then we can see the opening numbers, all right? Starting gunfires now. Canary Bitwise kicks things off with 53,907 shares, while Bitwise enters at 45,217. Franklin Templeton popped off with a 4.6% gain. So in that crazy first half hour of trading, here's what went down with our 4 ETFs. We've got Canary, Bitwise, Grayscale, and Franklin Templeton all in the mix. Grayscale scooped up a little more than 500,000. Franklin grabbed just shy of 900,000. And we're already sitting at roughly 6 million combined. But here's the thing. Bitwise XRP is really coming in strong, leading the pack. Bitwise is absolutely dominating the game today. When I pulled these numbers at 5:09 Hawaii time, the data was wild. Franklin Templeton's XRP Spot ETF was up a solid 6.28% at that exact moment. Let me show you what's happening on the Binance chart. Man, that green is gorgeous. Your portfolio is probably looking way healthier today compared to the beating we took the last couple days. Am I right? Franklin's XRPZ hit the 3 million mark super early. Check this out. Franklin Templeton exploded to 4 million while Grayscale pushed past 1.1 million. Notice how Franklin's gaining ground? Institutions and retail investors were definitely lined up and ready for Franklin Templeton's launch. The chart action is beautiful to watch. Now here's where it gets interesting with the end of day numbers. Franklin XRPZ is really looking good. They could come in even stronger this afternoon. Right now they're at 5.3 million. Want to hear the projected end of day total for Franklin Templeton alone? 33.48 million. Franklin and Bitwise are in an absolute battle right now. These two are straight up competing for the top spot. Franklin's sitting at 7.5 million, give or take, and Bitwise is barely ahead by a few thousand, right? So we're talking razor thin margins here. And let me tell you, this kind of competition, this is fantastic. This is exactly what the market needs, right? Because competition drives excitement. It drives marketing efforts. It drives buzz and conversation. It pulls in fresh investors. The XRP space has been hungry for all of this. And guess what? We're finally watching it unfold. Nearly 500,000 before noon XRPZ. So we're talking almost 500,000 shares of the SPOD Franklin XRP ETF traded. Well, traded might be the better word. Scooped up by investors, if that makes sense. And you could watch the share price climbing with 3 hours still on the clock. Franklin XRPZ is crushing it right now. Meanwhile, we're watching fear grip the market pretty hard. People are struggling to figure out what's happening. Is the US economy heading for real trouble? Japan and UK are dealing with unwinding carry trades. There's just a mountain of things unfolding at once, and people are nervous. Here's the thing though, when everyone's panicking, that's typically your buying opportunity. And when everyone's celebrating and getting greedy, that's probably when you start eyeing the door, depending on how you play it. If this stuff confuses you, seriously, get yourself a financial advisor. I'm certainly not claiming to be one. Congratulations, Franklin Templeton, on a historic launch. Look, here's what I was getting at earlier. We're about to see marketing on a whole different level, right? This is a firm sitting on 1.6 trillion in assets under management. Their advertising budget, probably bigger than most companies' entire revenue. And that's the kind of muscle we've been needing. Now check this. Franklin Templeton launched XRPZ ETF today with access to over 13,000 advisory firms managing trillions in clients' assets. 13,000 advisory firms, yeah? So let's be clear, we're not counting solo advisors working from home offices. We're counting full-blown firms loaded with teams of advisors. Try wrapping your head around the reach here. The number of conversations starting today could be off the charts. Picture advisors everywhere lighting up their clients' phones like, listen, we just got our hands on something fresh. You've been sitting on the sidelines looking for your crypto entry point. Boom, XRP just walked through the door. Sure, Bitcoin's been tumbling down like it forgot how to fly, and Ethereum might have you feeling sketchy, but the noise around Ripple right now? Swell. Brad Garlinghouse, Monica Long, David Schwartz, these heavy hitters steering the Ripple ship are getting serious attention, and Franklin Templeton just threw their weight behind it. JP Morgan estimates XRP ETFs could attract $8 billion as Franklin Templeton brings conservative institutional credibility to the asset. Franklin Templeton manages $1.5 trillion. Okay, let's dive into what JP Morgan is actually saying here and why these numbers should make you sit up and pay attention. This is wild stuff, so bear with me. XRP supply shock loading. JP Morgan says XRP and SOL ETFs could pull in $14 billion. JP Morgan, one of the largest banks, just said that is a new proposed XRP and SOL ETFs could see $14 billion. But when you combine the Chad Steingraber's ETF math, you start to see a real problem. There is not enough XRP to feed this machine unless the price goes vertical. Bitwise alone is although it's already swallowed up 6 million XRP per day. So we're looking at 180 million XRP getting gobbled up month after month. Now, if that rate holds steady, hang on, I'm crunching numbers using 7 trading days, which is definitely wonky. See, I'm wired to think crypto time where markets never sleep. But hold up, traditional markets take weekends off. What's the deal, like 5 trading sessions weekly? So we'd be at roughly 22 sessions per month, give or take. Okay, my math's running a bit hot there, but you catch my drift here. And that's just scratching the surface. You know, we're literally talking about one ETF doing this. Now picture 7 of these beasts, 8, 10 different products hitting American exchanges, then European markets start spinning up their own versions, Asia gets in on the action, Middle East joins the party. Anyone who's got the infrastructure and client demand can fire up these products whenever they feel like it. This whole thing's about to explode across the globe. Multiply that by 12 funds. Check out what happens when you run those numbers through the calculator. We're at 72 million XRP evaporating every single day, 360 million gone each week, 1.1 billion sucked out monthly, and brace yourself, 17 billion XRP over the year. But hold your horses for a minute here, because there's something you absolutely need to grasp about these calculations. Sure, the figures look absolutely bonkers and get you hyped up. Here's what they're not telling you though. Every single one of these projections assumes XRP stays frozen at roughly $2. Nobody's got a crystal ball showing whether it jumps to $2.50 by next week, explodes to $5 in 30 days, or shoots up to $10 further out. You see what I'm saying? They're just plugging in the same static price over and over. Reality is going to look completely different as prices bounce around. Whatever you're staring at on this screen right now, don't treat it like some guaranteed roadmap. I'm throwing up that red flag early because we've all seen how easy it is to ride the hype train straight off the rails. People have been absolutely dying for this product to drop. Now it's here and wow, the demand is off the charts. But here's where it gets interesting. Does that hype train keep rolling? Where do things stand when 2026 rolls around? Honestly, we're working with a bunch of question marks here. You know I'll be all over this though, breaking it down as we go because this stuff genuinely fires me up. The only way ETFs can get that much liquidity is if the price moves. Just let that sink in for a minute. Now here's where I want your brain on this. Say the price rockets to $10, maybe even $25. What's your move? Are you hitting that sell button or keeping your XRP locked down? Because look, there's definitely people who jumped in at 30 cents and they're doing the math thinking, okay, $25, that's not just profit, that's change your whole situation money. Could be a new house, taking care of people they love, funding something meaningful, whatever drives them. Those folks might be ready to peace out. But here's the reality. XRP only floods the market when people actually decide to sell. So who's going to be on the selling side and what's their breaking point? Sure, $10, $25 looks incredibly tempting. But between you and me, I'd probably pump the brakes on buying XRP once it hits those heights. Part of me is actually hoping it stays accessible. Yeah, I keep adjusting my targets, but you absolutely need a roadmap here, right? Here's how I'm playing it. I'm banking on this asset becoming mainstream over the coming years. I'm fully committed to riding whatever crazy waves come at us. And when chances appear where I can grab more, you better believe I'm all in because my gut tells me XRP's valuation in 2030, 2035 is going to make today's prices look tiny. And some community members are dead serious about XRP potentially hitting thousands of dollars before 2026 wraps up. I definitely don't have the crystal ball they've got. And you know what? It kind of bugs me when the entire XRP crowd starts shouting these massive numbers. We're talking 10,000, maybe 1,000, some say 5,000. Then they slap a timeline on it, next couple months. Listen, optimism is cool. I'm all for it. But let's pump the brakes for a second. Regulation, adoption, actual institutional money pouring into crypto. We haven't even left the gate yet, folks. Take tokenization as an example. We're not even scratching 1% of assets being tokenized across any sector. Stocks? Nope. Bonds? Barely. Derivatives? Real estate? Not even close. Getting all that value onto blockchain? We've got a mountain to climb still. There's a massive amount of groundwork left to do. Now, stock market settlement though, that's where things get spicy. If we start seeing that roll out and XRP ends up playing a role in it, then the price action could get really interesting. Just remember to zoom out and see the bigger picture here. So check out this scenario Chad mapped out. Shout out to Chad, by the way. This is solid work. And yeah, JP Morgan, you know, one of those banking giants. They're dealing with some backlash at the moment because of the Jack Mallers drama. Not going to spend too much energy on that whole mess, but wow, I've never seen JP Morgan dominate my X timeline like this. Anyway, their prediction shows massive capital heading toward these products. Appreciate you spending this time with me. We'll connect again soon.